Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Max with Short Hair. Of course, the 90 minutes. We're here again. Two games happened today, so West Brom, West Ham, which I only saw a snippet of the game, and of course Leicester City against Chelsea. That finished 2-0 for the Foxes, and here we'll have quite a few things to talk about. So, just going to talk about the game in the first part. So, after 6 minutes, you had the Ndidi goal. Pretty well deserved, I'd say, for Leicester. A bit lucky, Harvey Barnes scuffed his shot, and the commentators over here said that Ndidi got a bit lucky. Looked like a bit of a sliced shot, not gonna lie. Maybe he was a bit lucky on that one. But, Leicester dominated the rest of the half. Chelsea didn't have a really prayer in the first half. Then you got the second Chelsea goal, which was also the second Leicester goal, which was pretty embarrassing. Just a simple ball up top from Albrighton, and thinking about it, I'm not quite sure whose fault it is. You've got three Chelsea defenders and two Leicester City ones, and Vardy falls over, and then everybody seems completely lost. Mendy's destabilised. He's not quite sure should he come out or not. I think he should have come out. And Maddison has an easy finish really, which he takes brilliantly. Again, 2-2 at the half, and then second half it wasn't really a contest. Chelsea came out a bit, attacking, thinking all right, we're gonna save Lampard. Not really. We'll talk about Chelsea later on, but it's looking pretty peak for Lampard. So let's talk about Leicester more globally. And they are top of the league this evening, of course, with a game in hand. But it's probably been one of the teams that people have been talking about the least this year. But they've been playing brilliant stuff. It kind of looks like a bit like last year, where they've done the first half of the season been absolutely excellent. And I'm pretty optimistic about the rest of their season for Leicester, because their next couple games are against Everton, Leeds, and Fulham. I can see them winning all three potentially. The one against Everton is going to be a real teller, I think, because they'll come against a team that's as good as them. Well, at least in form, let's say. But no, more globally, you look at what a team needs to win a championship. So a good goalkeeper, Leicester have that in Schmeichel. A solid defence, I think Leicester have that. Evans and Fofana have been incredible. Good fullbacks, Castagna and Justin are just world class in an attacking sense. Probably the best fullback partnership this year. There are arguably not many better fullback partnerships than them. And then Leicester's midfield has got so much balance and class. Tielemans, Albrighton, what they have today, Tielemans, Albrighton, and Ndidi, Barnes and Maddison. It's just so much creativity. It's overflowing, and it's still got that defensive aspect, and everybody in there is so clean. They're all such technically gifted players in that midfield to just supply anything to Vardy. And goals can come from anywhere in this team, and I think that's such a good threat. So they've got good defensive backbone, a great midfield that has creativity, and a striker up top who can bang in goals. And you add to that a pretty deep team. On their bench, Soyuncu, who was class last year, still is now retrograded to the bench because of how good Fofana has been. And of course, it doesn't come as a surprise to me how good Fofana is. I've been talking about him ever since his Santigen days. So, but you look at Leicester's bench. You got Under, who's had a couple good games coming off the bench this season. Iheanacho, who can work as a replacement as Vardy. I think you've even seen him play with Vardy and Iheanacho. Brendan Rodgers does do that a couple times, but of course, Ricardo Pereira, Ayoze Perez. It's a pretty stacked team, honestly. Leicester can be dare I say, title contenders. I mean, yeah, there you go. I've said it. I think I'm more confident in Leicester's capabilities than in Manchester United's capabilities. If you give a real comparison, I honestly think they have a chance. You know, they didn't get top four last season, but I think they could definitely do it this season. They have the experience. I honestly think this year could be they. I mean, it's been so wild that honestly, why not? Why not Leicester? And I think no one sees them coming. They're still underdogs, so I think they're the perfect outsider candidate for the title this year. But now moving on to Chelsea, where completely different story. Chelsea would love to be where Leicester are at. I think it's the end for Fat Frank, unfortunately, for him. I mean, I maybe don't think he should be fired. Maybe given more time, but knowing Chelsea's board, he probably will be fired. I think he got the players he wanted today. Everyone was pretty dreadful. Maybe Christian Pulisic in attack, Tammy Abraham. I mean, I don't know what's up with Chelsea's number nines. I still think Giroud should be the first choice number 9 for now because Tammy Abraham today was dreadful. His first touch was all over the place. I didn't even think he got a shot on today. Tammy Abraham, completely horrible. But I think the annoying thing is Chelsea did make great signings, and I don't understand why Lampard can't make Havertz, Werner, or Ziyech play because he asked for them in the summer, and I don't know. It does annoy me to see Lampard go because I think he does have potential, and it's just a shame to see a team with such good players be used so poorly, really. And I think part of that is also psychological, where Lampard has not stuck with a consistent 11 at all this year. It's kind of been all over the place. Some games you have Havertz in, other games you have Havertz out, then it's Azpilicueta that's in, and Jorginho, and it's all over the place. And yeah, maybe Lampard does need a couple more years to really get his managerial IQ up, really. I think that would be a good idea. I think it's too early for Lampard. And going on now for the last game. I mean, the early kickoff, West Ham, West Brom, and West Ham continuing as usual for the whole season. They've been very surprising. Had great games. Their defense is surprisingly solid. Kufal had a great game today, banging in a great assist for Jared Bowen, by the way. I mean, again, West Ham must have some of the most underrated players in the Prem. You got Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio. They've been class this year, even in that defense too. So Moyes, yeah, Moyes. He's had a good season. He's a good manager. I think he's just got a bit lost in all his ways going into Spain and with the whole Manchester United situation. But I think when you give him a squad of players he can really tinker with, that's what he loves. That's what Moyes loves doing. So West Ham, I'm super impressed with. Could be going for Europe this year as well, with Chelsea and Arsenal having their problems. So I mean, it's exciting for them. And then West Brom. Honestly, I think Big Sam's the man, and he's definitely saved them from real problems. They didn't look great today, but you sense that they do have that stability at the back, and with Pereira, he'll get them enough goals, I think, to stay up. But yeah, so that's been the state of the Premier League games today, and I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow.